It will be largely around who controls the close encounters on the table, who can force their opponents back from the table. And we already know from watching sunyingsha and wangchuqin that it looks like they're playing singles at times out there.
You've been not vertical.
And not a vertical toss there from Shin Yubin. Just called from our umpire. Good spot.
Fault, 2,
and a fault
1.
called.
Not
early. This is not the start that they would have wanted. This can certainly cast a bit of doubt into your mind, as if there wasn't enough already.
And listen to the roar that is echoing around the building. Just to add to the jangling of the nerves that might have come from that service infraction.
And it's worth mentioning we do have our TTR review system in place here at this championships. Shin Yubin opting not to challenge that so early in this encounter. Probably a wise move. If the umpire has started with that call early, it's very likely to happen again.
And he will know, as will Shin, that every point won by the Chinese partnership is going to be greeted with that sort of reaction. Can they quieten down the crowd? Can they make them nervous? They did lead 2-1 in the previous meeting.
3, 2.
There are a fair few out there who've enjoyed a leading position over sunyingsha and wangchuqin, but it has remained a leading position and not ended up as a winning position.
2, 4.
Oh, that's a beauty.
3, 4.
And he'll need to produce a lot like that.
Indeed he will. That was a great start from Shin Yubin as well with that forehand flick. We've seen it twice in the early exchanges. Followed up with a nice backhand down the line too. And that's strong. You've got to be able to try and redirect, misdirect your opponent. And you could see there wangchuqin had already started moving over to the forehand side.
What do you make of the start of this?
5, 4.
I think it's as we expected, both feeling each other out, both trying to command the table. But for me, the most crazy thing is the noise of the crowd here. First match of the day, early in the morning, and it's as loud as that. Listen to it.
That's quite something. It's just gone beyond 11 o'clock in the morning on a very warm day in Doha.
I mean, what if this gets to 2-2-9-9, Ollie? What are they going to sound like then?
They'll find a way to get louder, they always do. Great support. Great to have your support as well, wherever you are watching from, wherever you call home. Really is a privilege to have you with us for these most prestigious championships of the world.
Nice change of tactic there.
5.
Going for the long service to wangchuqin. We so often see that nowadays. Previously, we'd never have seen long serves in doubles, but because the backhand flick has become so prominent in the game, it's important that you can't let your opponent step in early and telegraph that. You have to keep him on his toes.
We must never forget that those two players from the Republic of Korea, Im Jong-hun and Shin Yubin, won the bronze medal at the Olympic Games, the first ever on that stage for their country in mixed doubles. Enormous accomplishment.
7, 6.
They also made it onto the podium at the Asian Games, the delayed Hangzhou 2022 Games that took place the following September. Oh, he's cross with himself, Im Jong-hun.
Just while we're on Im, it's one for everybody to watch out when this match goes on, but every service he plays that backhand flick. We talked about it being prominent in the game now, but this guy takes it to a different level. He rarely pushes long, rarely touches short in doubles, always looks for that backhand flick.
7, 8.
We'll see that big forehand from the left-hander Im Jong-hoon, who is actually right-handed in his day-to-day life. Not an unheard of thing in the sport of table tennis to have players who switch hands when they actually play. There are a few of them out there at the elite level.
It seems incomprehensible to me, Ollie, but just a sign of the talent that these guys have.
Play, please.
That is extraordinary, isn't it? His mother was a very accomplished handball player, actually. Took him to table tennis, as he showed such a passion for it when he was young. Narrow advantage to the number 2 seeds and the reigning 2-time champions of the world.
9, 8.
Well, that is a touch of fortune most graciously apologised for and most gratefully received.
That's the one we call the dribbler, Ollie, dribbling over the net. Unreceivable, unreturnable. Even someone as fast as sunyingsha wasn't going to be able to make that one.
Yes, there they are. The long lenses, the high hopes, the tall task for those two. Now hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute.
Just over-egging that one slightly, sunyingsha, trying to really go for that bending forehand out wide to Shin Yubin.
Wow, well saved, what a shot.
Great presence of mind there from wangchuqin, just stepping up and playing even stronger with that backhand cross into Im Jong-hoon.
One feels that it is that sort of match where if you happen to craft a game point against the Chinese pair, you must take it at the first opportunity.
10, 11.
Otherwise, this will happen. Of course, it's easier said than done, as many have found. Game point t'other way.
Let's 12, 11.
Turned on a sixpence. All changed very, very rapidly. And how important that the Chinese pair get the game secured after
challenges on both sides, but promising start.
Rebecca Adams is right down there by the table. Can you hear anything at all apart from the crowd?
Not much, Ollie, to be honest, but what I find so striking is that the noise the crowd makes, no matter whether it's a winning or a losing point for sunyingsha and wangchuqin, is incredible. The fan support is voracious and relentless. I'm actually curious to get Gavin's thoughts on this one. As a former player, obviously, who's played at numerous World Championships, how do you cope when there's a crowd this noisy, all shouting for your opponent? Not, of course, that Gavin wouldn't have had a fan club of his own, but I'm keen to get his thoughts.
Well, I can certainly say, Rebecca, I never played under this kind of duress that Shin Yubin and Im Jong-hoon will be facing. but I did enjoy playing the pantomime villain at sometimes. You know, I almost like to go against the crowd, and maybe that was because I wasn't used to having a crowd, but that's a conversation for another day. They'll just be focused on the job at hand, sticking to what they have to do from a tactical perspective.
Please remove the camera from the field of play. Remove the camera, please, from the field of play. 0-0.
Game number 2. Just to pick up on what you said there, Gavin, that really is interesting, the idea of almost playing the pantomime villain. Is that a necessity, perhaps, in a match like this for Im Jong-hoon and Shin Yu-bin to develop a sort of siege mentality about the contest? Everyone's against us, so let's embrace it and let's run with it.
Exactly that, Ollie, and every athlete feels differently and plays better under different conditions. I was somebody that played well when I was maybe slightly angry or feeling hard done by, and other athletes like to feel relaxed and like to feel like everything is calm. So it's really a state of mind for these guys and how they deal with that.
2-1.
A number of times over the years I've talked to elite level athletes in martial arts and combat sports, like boxers perhaps, for example, who say, I'm only good once the first punch has hit me, and then I'm awake, then I'm alert, then I'm playing with fire in my belly. Some athletes are like that. They almost need a position of adversity to function at their best.
And that's the great addition of this new TTR system as well. Sometimes players get that feeling of hard done by, and it kicks them into a new gear, and we see new drama that we haven't seen before.
Now, some important context here is that it's not as though Shin Yu-bin is in any way unaccustomed to enormous amounts of attention, media focus. She is so popular in the Republic of Korea. She has an enormous set of endorsements, of contracts. She was actually ranked first in Sports Star brand reputation in the Republic of Korea last year. The person in second place was the footballer Son Heung-min, whose station might have risen a little bit, having just become the first player from the Republic of Korea in association football ever to captain a team to a major trophy. But he'll have to go some way to catch up to her popularity. So they're used to attention, Shin and Im, but this is a different kind of attention. This is World Championship attention with that crowd.
It's a bit better there from Im Jong-hoon, forcing wangchuqin back from the table. So often double centered around who can hold their balance. And there you go again, another good example. Slightly slow to read the long service, but stepping out, making a good forehand topspin. And just watch wangchuqin. Balance not quite there on that one.
That was a remarkable return of serve, because it looked until the last split second that he wasn't quite positioned to take it.
And we spoke about it already. It's that backhand flick. That's why we saw the sunyingsha long service. She doesn't want him to get comfortable stepping in, being there a little bit early.
I'm sure many of you know it, but Im Jong-hoon became a real specialist with the backhand after he struggled with the yips with his forehand as a child. Decided to turn it to advantage and focus on developing an incredibly combative backhand game.
6,
Great
7.
maturity as a young player to do that. Another example, perhaps, Gavin, of
8,
the
6.
Chinese players handling the business end of the game.
Indeed, and again, I've said it so many times now, but just Im Jong-un, too far back from the table there. And that's a credit to the Chinese pairing.
Oh dear, forget about it.
Now, there are exceptions to the rule, Ollie. I said
9,
you should play on balance.
6.
This was off balance, but that's unstoppable.
If you're going to produce a rule breaker, make it an unstoppable rule breaker. Hope they got some good pictures of that one. And stares bemused
6,
as the scoreboard
10.
does in no way flatter Sun and Wang. They've seized this game.
He doesn't really understand what happened there. Maybe thinking it could have been a wet ball. That's often what happens.
Oh, this is glorious. What a sequence of points and
11,
what control they have
game to 1.
over the contest. The players looking for their third consecutive championship of the world. sunyingsha and wangchuqin.
Can't help but feel that that first game point in the first set was really the difference maker.
12-10, 11-6. One game left. That's all they need, and they're in the final. Rebecca down there by the field of play, right by the table. It must be absolutely a cacophony down there.
Ollie, I almost didn't hear what you said because you're right, it is an absolute cacophony, and there's a cameraman in front of the crowd filming the fans' reaction at the end of the game. And even though there's a break in games, nothing's happening at the minute, the fans are gesturing to the cameraman to get out of their way because they want to see everything that sunyingsha and wangchuqin are doing. They're not doing much, they're just taking on water, but the fans seem to be captivated by that nonetheless.
It's got to the stage now where the sunyingsha and wangchuqin fan club has got so much attention it's acquired its own fan club. There's essentially media attention following the fan club as the fan club follows the players with all the media attention. That's how big these stars are.
Perfect start and perfect flick by Shin Yubin. Last moment, break of the wrist.
My.
1-1.
She may want the chance to play that again. I wish she had the chance to. They're always unflattering things, those beautiful slow-motion replays. They make it seem like the player had all the time in the world. Reality, as you know, Gavin, is different.
Very different reality, Ollie. There's split-second decisions are being made at all times here, and no matter how slow it looks on that camera replay,
8 of the last 9 points going the way of those players. We go back to that game point in the opener. They didn't look remotely concerned, did they?
no, they certainly didn't. They faced that situation a million times, this pairing. I think this is a good timeout.
现在要做的就是抠细严谨，知道吗？这手里就夺他们都没机会，知道吗？我们这球打的没可能是。
그러면 뭐 할 수 있겠지만 그래도 하나 기다렸다가 하나 쭉 뽑아줘봐. 그러니까 괜찮으니까 하나씩만 하나하나 끝까지 착실하게 하고 문제 끼고 마지막에 또 만나서 또 어떤 게 나오는지 모르니까 자 동훈이가 항상 이럴 건 많이 짚고 하나 잡히는 거 될 수 있으면은 SID 아닌데 뭐라지 자자자자 할 수 있어 할 수 있어.
It's not for want of trying. It's not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of capacity. It's just that they're playing them.
4-1.
And there's not so many people on this planet, Ollie, that have figured out what they have to do in order to take them down, take them out.
They've only lost one game so far, and that was the opening game in their quarter-final. The win over Soda Matsushima and Miwa Harimoto. Him and Shin went to 5 games in their quarter-final win over Lin Winru and Zhang Yijing.
3-4.
Good response to the timeout. Something's working suddenly.
Certainly has momentum shifted. Shin Yubin, we saw her with a forehand flick, this time just opting to stay, wait a little longer and drop it short. It's good variation.
But once again, Sun and Wang nudge in front. They are so fantastic, Gavin, at taking back momentum when it's briefly escaped them.
They wrestle it back every time. The mental strength, the physical dominance.
The serve was dealt with.
It's as if he knew it was coming.
Three points needed now. Two.
9-4. Let 9-4.
Oh, what an excellent point.
6-9.
Just maybe seeing a signal of a timeout, yes indeed, for the Chinese pairing. So often a tactical move, not that they're playing anything wrong. That was obviously an extremely good rally, but the Chinese will not want them to have any momentum or allow it to grow from what just happened there.
先防搏一样的，如果被防住，如果上去短的，一定都是你下手下去，这种球就吃准了，咣就下，没问题啊。要第一板不让他们搏，后面的球想搏无所谓。现在扣分1分钟扣住了，想好这个结果是负的。就是判断，这样输了没关系，想好发球。就是让自己静下来，慢慢的调整。现在我们的路子就做的一点毛病都没有，哎，好吧，规矩就行。
Massive crowd gathered in the Lusail Sports Arena. Massive crowd watching all over the world as well. Delighted that you're part of it. Thank you for joining us. And let's see for how much longer they will join us in this match. After the timeout was called by the Chinese partnership to try to stop the momentum of the two players from the Republic of Korea, but they haven't done it yet. This is a good little spell from SHIN and LIM. Has it come too late? They really are playing well. Is there an element of playing with freedom when you get this close to the end of a match and you're likely to lose?
It's very common that you develop that feeling that you have nothing to lose. You're 2-0, 9-5, and you just start to get freedom in the body. It allows you to go for shots that maybe you were feeling a little bit reserved on previously.
Now it's interesting to see, having got so close, whether that freedom remains. Oh, it's unfortunate.
8-10.
Net and long, and 2 match points. Oh, beautifully saved.
10.
And you saw how good that forehand was down the line, and still Im Jong-un was diving to the floor to be ready if that came back to get out of the way for Shin Yu-bin.
One more match point. That is a job really well done. Whatever happens now, yes, indeed. Nervousness in the crowd. 6 of the last 8 points won by those two.
They're praying for a Chinese win, Ollie. We're praying for more table tennis.
Yes, this is one of those matches that you just want to go on and on. It may be about to come to an end. Once again,
11.
a match point. This for a place in the final. This is fascinating.
I thought for a second there that ball was going to the sky and going to come back down on the table.
There was some nervous glancing upwards at that point. It's another that goes long. It's another
11,
match point, a
12.
fourth.
They've been unlucky. Just at the right moment for the Chinese pairing. They've been able to get a bit of fortune with the net. Unlucky for Shin Yubin and Im Jong-un.
12-12.
It is rare, very rare, that we see these two players with 4 match points. Not able to convert them. 50-50 split over the last 16 points. They weren't expecting this complication.
Oh, it's on a knife edge now, this game 3.
12-12.
Another one, 5th one.
12-13.
That's some recovery from wangchuqin. Shin Yubin with a perfect forehand to the middle of the table, and what a reaction. He was already moving to forehand, somehow managed to get his racket back in time and direct it deep into the Im Jong-un backhand.
They've saved another one. 13 all. The missing piece of the puzzle is getting a game point. It's been a fabulous effort. Now it's very intriguing.
Slightly more shallow topspin there from Shin Yubin, bouncing short. Took wangchuqin by surprise.
Oh, another one that clips the net and goes long.
14-14.
He drops to the ground. But they're not done yet. Game point 2. Match point 6. Well, we now have our answer.
14-15.
He went for it, Im Jong-un. He really went for it. Wanted to play that direct winner.
A dozen match points it took. It was a splendid effort from those two players. But ultimately, the dream of being thrice consecutive champions of the world continues for sunyingsha and wangchuqin, to the delight of their fans, their many fans. It was an effort, a real effort. 12-10, 11-6, 16-14. Fine display from Im Jong-un and Shin Yubin, but ultimately, Gavin, this ended as people expected it to end.
Ended as people expected, but we did see a great fight from Im Jong-un and Shin Yubin. Two extremely tight juice sets, or juice games, and unfortunately, despite having 2 game points in each one, they weren't able to convert, and we didn't get to see that long 2-2 thrilling encounter that we potentially expected.
Made their way down to the interview position to join Rebecca Adams, who's going to have a chat with them now.
Congratulations to both of you. What an exciting finish to that match. A really impressive win. How do you assess your performance?
恭喜可以赢得本次的比赛，完全非常精彩的一场比赛。该如何评价自己的表现呢？
首先我觉得这一场球发挥的还是双方发挥的都不错吧。然后我们这一边可能第1局的关键球和第3局的这种关键分，都还是更顽强一些。
First of all, I think both sides of the table had great performances. I think from our side, we did a better job in the first games and the third game in the crucial points.
And you're through to yet another final together. How will you prepare for the next match?
可不可以给我们分享一下对这次决赛的期待呢？
确实，我觉得明天也即将是混双的最后一场决赛吧。当然，其实面对这次比赛，我们两个人还是其实没有过多的想去有过怎样的成绩吧。其实还是真的在赛场上非常珍惜每一分球，然后每一场比赛吧。但我觉得目前为止，我觉得我们两个人做的都还很不错。然后希望明天的决赛我们能够有更好的精神面貌展现给大家吧。然后也希望我们能有一个好的结果。
Yes, tomorrow is the final match for mixed doubles. We haven't thinking too much about what result we're going to have for the finals. We cherish each point and each match. Hopefully we can do a good job and have a good result in today's match.
Congratulations.
恭喜。